There are a lot of channels on YouTube that show really well designed, really well thought out, neat and organized ways of doing things. I submit to you the exact opposite. This is a collection of seeds and plants that are started way too early for my zone. It is March 23rd. We still have a bit of snow on our ground, and it's at least 6, maybe more weeks before these can actually go outside when the danger of frost is over. But I thought I would show you some of what's going on, highlight some things that are working, some mistakes, and just share what's going on. So one thing we've learned is that Costco puts their bare root roses on very early. And so they're dormant roses, and every year they have different varieties. So we kind of like collecting them and adding them out to what we do. But the problem is they're bare root dormant plants that leaf out in the store. So I don't think I could put these outside, and maybe I could, out in the snow and have them handle the -10 nights that we've still been seeing. So we tend to get them, start them in pots. They definitely can handle some cold. So they're on a cold basement floor by a cold exterior window that's a little drafty, and they have no problem with that. So this is a good way for us where it doesn't take up a ton of space, but it allows us to get some roses started and have them ready to go out early. This is my second year growing dahlias, and I am not doing a great job at it so far. So they like to be kept in a cool location, but not too cold, and my cold cellar freezes. And so I took them out of that and then forgot about them and left them in a pail like this where I kept them moist, but some of them started waking up. So as they've been waking up, I've been putting them in pots and these pails. One of these pails actually was an experiment, and you can still see the seed heating map wrapped around that. I wanted to see if I could get these started with some heat earlier so that we would have some cut flowers sooner in spring. And that definitely worked. It got them going, but what I've learned is it's really not necessary. My basement's probably -20 Celsius, maybe a little bit cooler. And the dahlias have no problem waking up and growing, though they would like a lot more sunlight than what they're getting now. So they'll be eager to get outside as soon as our weather conditions allow for that. Moving over to this abomination of a seed starting shelf, you'll see spinach starting, which I'm hoping to get out to my high tunnel. You'll see here a loofah climbing, tomatoes started. I think that's a loofah, probably a tomato that I just repotted because it's doing so well. Some failed soil blocking where I've learned they really do need a dome or some way of containing moisture, so I'm working on that. And then down here you may have seen some lettuce starts that I'm going to get out to my high tunnel soon. Up here I've had lavender that I started in the fall that I wanted by seed that I wanted to keep alive, and so it's been doing okay in these low light conditions so far through our winter. This pot is interesting because it started as a lavender growing in a small pot, and I think in the soil I was reusing there was a thornless honey locust that took off. So I'm going to keep it alive, probably cut it back so it grows straighter, but get that planted out in the spring, and hopefully that grows into a nice prosperous tree. So coming around here, I had a lot of peppers that I started actually in January, and then I cut back severely. Peppers can be grown as a perennial, so what I thought was I'd get them started really early and then hopefully get peppers a lot sooner in the year. Those are hot peppers, I can't remember what variety. Some basil that's struggling a little bit in the low light and cooler temperatures, but it is growing, so again, I think that will help me get started earlier. Down here you can see onions that are getting started, more of that lavender calendula, which is one of my favorite flowers to grow. And here, my new attempt at moisture for my seed blocks in that little bit of a humidity dome. I think that might be too much humidity, so I may run into problems. You may notice that I love to go to the recycling bin whenever I need new pots. And then I do recycle them so I don't have to store them all year. But I like that a lot better than buying or storing a lot of pots all the time. Hopefully you're having fun getting started. I don't know what I'm going to do when I actually get really serious about starting a lot of my seeds, but I'm sure I'll find more space.